All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to start off by giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Ruchakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yasharala that rule well, and salutations to Yoakim out in the highways and the byways, preaching His word in truth and in sincerity. And this is GMS Chicago coming at you again with another lesson. And just through the Spirit, man, we're gonna basically touch on the destruction of this place, and how it's gonna take via the so-called UFOs, and there's a reason why we call it so-called UFOs, because we already know what those things are, and those things that people consider that are going to be the reason, part of the major reason why this place is going to be destroyed,
Yeah. Isaiah chapter 66 verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead or judge with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. All right, those chariots are the chariots of Israel, man. All right, what Edom refers to as UFOs, and what's the other one? The aerial something phenomenon, UPA or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Esau, the so-called white man, refers to him as, but
UAP.
Yeah, UAP, some shit like that.
By aerial phenomena.
Yeah. But nonetheless, we know what they are. All right. They're the chariots of the Lord, and that's how we're gonna get the hell up out of here, man. See, America's gonna get destroyed by thermonuclear fire. You see, and 1/3 of Israel here in America is gonna be delivered through the fire, and we're gonna get beamed up into one of those chariots. Lord willing, we're of the elect.
Here's Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud. Right, and that swift cloud, all right, is the chariots of the Lord. This is the book of Psalms 104 and 3. It says, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariots, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. So, you can't ride a physical cloud, man. It's symbolic or more as metaphor for the chariots of the Lord, man. Those all those so-called ships, UFOs, man. I have one more. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, right? You read that those are chariots. And every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. All right, so when the Lord comes and visits this place, modern day Egypt, all right, he's gonna come with his he's gonna ride in a swift cloud, man. To visit Egypt, man.
Mm-hmm.
No,
just like in the old Egypt. How do you think he destroyed it? When you read it, it says it was a pillar by fire by night and a pillar of a cloud by morning. So that the way he destroyed Egypt by those so-called UFOs is going to be the same way he destroys this modern day Egypt, but this time it's going to be by fire. This time it's going to be, besides those nukes, it's going to be also a chariot fire. This is Habakkuk 3 and 3. It says Yahweh came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran. Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And that is what? The chariots. It says, and his brightness was as a light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Now, when you go into that word horns in the blue letter, it says horn of strength, right? It says flask, horn. It says of rays of light, and what do they show you in these movies when these UFOs shoot? They show you that they shoot what? Lasers, right? laser is nothing but what is it? Concentrated
concentrated fire.
Mm-hmm. You know, in other words, like a ray of light. You know, so I'm gonna read it again, verse 4. And his brightness was as the light, and he had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. You know, and basically those rays of light were coming out of the so-called UFOs. You know, like glory that covered the heavens. This is verse 5. Before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. You know, because that's the destruction that the Lord is coming with, man. You know, that's why it calls it the strangeness of their salvation. You know, because these so-called UFOs are not just going to destroy this place, but they're also going to save the elect. You know, you are going to see men actually getting beamed up into these chariots. You know, while at the same time you're going to have other chariots burning this place up, destroying it, just like in that movie. What is it? War of the Worlds.
With Tom Cruise?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, they were shooting those beams, those rays of light, and was turning everybody to dust. You know, to powder.
I have another one. This is Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. It says, Then I turned and I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Right? And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Alright, it says, I will bring it forth, said the Lord of hosts. And it's verse 4. And I will bring it forth, and said the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and with the stones thereof. Alright, so these chariots, this flying roll is going to come and destroy this place, man, with those beams of light, man. You know, because the Lord, he has a contrary, all right, towards this place, man. You know, he's gonna, especially here in Babylon the Great, America, man. You know, that's the thief, man. You know, he saw Edom, man. You know, and he's gonna come and consume it, man. All right. You know, Mount Seir should be desolate, man, and we're prophesying against Mount Seir. All right, and the ways, one of the main ways that Babylon the Great is gonna go out with is the chariots of the Lord. Right, and those nuclear missiles, man. All right, those ICBM missiles. You know, which the scriptures also refer to as arrows. All right, you know, the Lord's weapons of indignation, man. You know, that's what's coming to this place. Fire and brimstone. He's gonna come as a whirlwind and with fire and a sword, man. You know,
It's gonna be a horrible sight. I'm gonna keep going in this Habakkuk. Now, Habakkuk 3 and verse 5. No, actually, verse 6. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations. And the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the river? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? You know, so that's how great of the destruction the Lord is coming with these so-called UFOs. That, hey, even Habakkuk had to ask, like, Lord, were you mad at the sea? Like, damn, this is you fucking this whole place up. It's like you were mad at the trees, you were mad at the sea, and all that, you know, because it is a great destruction the Lord is going to bring, and ultimately is why, because this place, Wells deserves that, you know, because of the wickedness it's been doing for so long, you know.
I got one too. This is Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy places. You see, so the angels are in those chariots of the Most High, man. We just read those chariots are also known as clouds, right? And the Lord's gonna come with thousands of them, man. You know, when He returns, man. You know. That's what we read in Revelations 1:7. That our Lord Yahushua, He's coming with clouds, man, with His angels, right? You read that in the book of Jude, man. You know, the Lord marching in, you know, with tens and ten thousands of His angels, all right?
Khan, I got this. This is second Ezra chapter 13, verse 3 and 4. And I beheld, and lo, which is look, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Why? Because he's coming from above, man. The same way Yahushua left is the way he's coming back, man, in one of those big chariots. Verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. All right? So, hey, man, the Lord's destroying motherfuckers from the chariot, man. It tells you he neither lift a finger or anything, but like he spoke it. Basically, I'm roughly paraphrasing this. But yeah, the Lord's coming with great destruction, man. Do you understand? It's not just those ICBMs, those intercontinental ballistic missiles. No, it's also the chariots, man, of the Lord that are coming to destroy this place, man. You know, a good man. Can't wait, man. When we make it. That's right.
Con, this is Matthew. This is Matthew 16 and 27. It says, Matthew 16 and 27. It says, for the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works.
Right. Whether it be good or evil. You know? Right. The Lord makes it rain on the just and the unjust. And this time he's coming around to bring deliverance to his elect and bring destruction to the wicked, man. Even the wicked of our own people, 2/3 of you niggas, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Because it's synonymous when you talk about the destruction of this place and the salvation of the elect. Lord willing, that be us. This is Isaiah 31 and 5. It says, as birds flying,
ooh, yeah,
so will Yahweh of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also he will deliver it, and passing over he will preserve it. And you even see that in these videos that these people catch of so-called UFOs. It's when they catch a bunch of them, they actually look like a flock of birds just together, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how many chariots the Lord is gonna bring to destroy this place. You know, to the point where it's gonna cover what the sun and the moon. You know, it's gonna be nothing but chariots all in the sky. You're not even gonna need a camera because everybody's gonna be able to see.
Well, just like in what we saw, Don't Look Up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When the power, you know, when like when he wrote Revelation 1:7, you know, every eye shall see him. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be something like that where everyone's gonna see Yahweh Shai, man. All right, they're not gonna deny it. You know, at the end of this thing, the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai will be magnified. You know, everyone's gonna know who the Lord is and who are His chosen.
That's right. You know. So and with that, nobody's gonna be able to stand. Not as much as technology and weapons Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has. That they're not gonna be able to fight. You know, they're gonna try to, but it's gonna be to none avail. This is 2 Esdras 13 and 1. It says, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo.
No, go ahead. You read it.
And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that had moved all the waves thereof. And behold, lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. It says, and whatsoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned and heard the voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it, which is that's what we like to call the fathership. It says, but I would have seen the region or place where the hill was graven, and I could not. Why? Because it wasn't an actual mountain. It was just so big. He that's the only way he could describe it. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet there's fight. You know, they had that what do you call that, American pride. You know, even in that movie, Don't Look Up. What was that soldier doing? You're never gonna take me alive.
Right. The only thing we're gonna stand up there. Yeah.
Right. He was shooting at it like, what the fuck are you doing? You know. It says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast of sparks and tempest. That's the concentrated fire. It says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. You know, because that's how the Lord is. He's coming, man. See the Lord. It's not like that the Lord couldn't do this before. He could have been done this. He could have never let America be established as a kingdom. But the Lord is a man of his word, so he had to let all this play out. And when he comes, he's going to show his true power. He's going to show that the only reason why this place was never destroyed was because he let it keep going. You know, because the way he's going to destroy is going to be so easy. You know, it's going to be like, damn, you know, Esau, you had all this time to create something crazy, and this is what you came up with? So something that can even damage the chariots, you know. That's how crazy of a destruction this place is gonna be. Remember, the Lord said that this destruction is gonna be greater than that of Egypt. You know, so people are gonna they shall no more say, you know, blessed is the Lord who's delivered us from Egypt, but blessed is the Lord who delivered us from the land of the north. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so with that, you know, hopefully you were edified. You know, we're gonna end it by giving all praises and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharah, their will well, and salutations to Joachim out there in the highways and the byways, preaching his word in truth and in sincerity.
Shalom.
Abba.